Hey, welcome to your astrology forecast for October 17th to October 22nd, 2014. So, on October 17th, Pluto and Capricorn sextiles Chiron and Pisces, and they both in conjunct the moon in Leo. Basically, what this means is that deep emotional wounds are coming up to be transformed, and these wounds that are coming up may be revolving around authority figures or perhaps just collective wounds that need to be healed. And the best way to deal with these things at this time would be to express yourself, express your emotions in a creative way so that you can really have an outlet for all those deep emotional wounds that are coming up at this time. So, yes, use that energy creatively, and that can be the best way to deal with it. So, Mercury, which is retrograde, conjuncts Venus in Libra. So, this is great for having heart to heart conversations, especially unfinished conversations or things that have been on your mind for a while. So we've been reflecting a lot more with Mercury retrograde, which can help us to basically bring up those things that we haven't been able to bring up before. And with Venus and Libra, this is really putting those conversations revolving around our relationships. So yeah, it's good to have those heart to hearts at this time. The moon conjuncts Jupiter in Leo, and this actually is also great for expressing your emotions. And once you express yourself creatively or expressing those deep feelings, you will feel much more expanded and you'll be able to grow more as a person and feel better about your romance that you may have. If you don't have a romance, then you will just feel more lighthearted afterwards, and that will be good. All right, on October 18th, the moon moves into Virgo, and this is going to be later in the day. So most of the day, it's probably going to be pretty easy going, but once the moon moves into Virgo, this is kind of the time to get back down to business or get things cleaned up or organized or write some lists for the next day because the moon's still going to be in Virgo for a couple days. So yeah, just getting everything planned out and taken care of that night will be nice. And then, you using those lists or whatever. So on the 19th, Venus in Libra sextiles Mars in Sagittarius. Now this is awesome because the creative energy is going to be amplified, as well as relationships should be in a very good giving and receiving state. It's good for finding love, and it's great both for feeling satisfied in your relationships and for satisfying your partner as well. There's also a possibility of having more philosophical discussions and having that kind of thing going on, even humanitarian discussions perhaps. You'll want to get out and do something good for the world. And you can use your creativity as well in a great way. So, and getting started on those things, there's a lot of good getting things going when it comes to creative ideas. And on October 20th, Mercury in Libra conjuncts the North Node in Libra. So conversations at this time may be very fateful in some way or can really help things move along towards your growth or your evolutionary growth. Perhaps there will be major conversations about relationships. Of course, Mercury is retrograde, so it is kind of in a somewhat more reflective kind of thing. Oh yeah, by the way, the nodes are actually moving direct at this time. So more fateful things could start cropping up in a more seen way than usual. And I'm not even sure how long this happens. It's basically a wobbling effect that causes them to go direct, and it's not always like that. It's usually not like that. Usually it's retrograde. So it's interesting that Mercury is retrograde and the North Node's going direct. So there is probably likely to be some kind of conversation that is in some way profound for your evolutionary growth. Of course, you don't want to move forward with new ideas at this time. It's probably more likely that it's something you've been having in the works that might come up for you. All right. Then Mercury in Libra sextiles Jupiter in Leo. So this, of course, is awesome for having expansive conversations and philosophical conversations and creative, expanding conversations. It's also great for teaching your kids something, creative especially. And it's also great for romance, and you can learn something new in your romantic relationships. And of course, it's always going to help you grow to have philosophical conversations and stuff. So, all right, on October 21st, the moon moves into Libra. So, of course, this is great for nurturing your relationships and also being there for someone else, listening to their feelings, and also, weighing out your own feelings, pros and cons kind of thing. And you may feel for people more on this day, and maybe even feel for the underdog, or kind of feel like, feel sort of into the injustices of the world. You might get a little riled up about that or something. And yeah, it's good basically to kind of make sure that you find a good balance between yourself and others, because you don't want to focus too much on other people to where you're kind of losing your own sense of well-being. It's always good to, sort of be somewhat more within yourself when you're feeling off balance. So yeah, and then October 22nd, the moon in Libra opposes Uranus and Aries, and they both square Pluto in Capricorn. This isn't an exact thing on this day, but it is pretty close. It's within 2 degrees. So there we go with the T-square again. So this is going to be creating the tensions between giving too much of yourself and wanting your own sense of independence and freedom, while simultaneously dealing with the tensions of the unconscious stuff when it comes to your career, whether that has to do with maybe sacrificing something from your own sense of what you should be doing in the world. Like a lot of people are in careers where they're sort of sacrificing a part of themselves to be there. Or perhaps it's just that you're not where you want to be, and there's unconscious stuff surrounding maybe whether or not you are at the status you wish to be at. So these things are kind of coming up for us again, and needing to find that balance in our relationships as well as in our careers. And there could be tensions that are created between those things, whether we don't feel free enough or ourselves enough in our career, or whether we are maybe focusing too much on our career or focusing too much on our relationships. All these things are kind of creating tensions. So we need to find that balance between all 3 of those things. So yeah, Jupiter in Leo sextiles North Node in Libra and trines the South Node in Aries on this day. So this is going to really help us to get in touch with our true sense of who we are. We can express who we are easier, as well as move more towards our personal evolution and growth, and feel very expansive and be able to express our creativity easier. And then the moon conjuncts Mercury in Libra, and this is great for expressing how we feel, and especially when it comes to one-on-one situations or within your relationships. And we can be very fair about it, as well as see the other person's point of view. So it's really a great time to have conversations with a partner. And then the moon conjuncts the North Node in Libra. So we are going to feel into what the best, path, or what our best path is at this time. We can really sense, which way we should be moving. And if it's going towards harmony, peace, love, relationship, learning through partnership, any of those things, then you're definitely going to be in line with that North Node. So yeah, that's it for this week. I will be back soon, and make sure to stay tuned next week because the solar eclipse is happening on the 23rd. So I'll be talking about that next week. All right, thanks for watching and liking and subscribing and commenting. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week.